a coveted spot in the NFC playoffs. And while a new year starts tomorrow, for the Rams, a new season starts today. A season long on pressure and very short on tomorrow. The Philadelphia Eagles spent their season cultivating a surly image that struck fear and pain in the souls of opposing quarterbacks. And while the formula has proven successful, their playoff hopes ride with the performance of Randall Cunningham as the Eagles try to fulfill their long-awaited promise. An eerie setting underscored a sorry ending to the Eagles' playoff drive last season, a shattered dream the Rams know all too well. To the Super Bowl begins at Veterans Stadium right now, and rain is in the forecast. Not much wind. That's the good news. Good afternoon. I'm Pat Summerall here with John Madden. When you think about the Los Angeles Rams, you think of the great year that Jim Everett had. You think of their outstanding offensive line. But Everett has a lot of weapons with which to work.
Well, he does, and he has a lot of speed on the outside, and that's the thing that worries the Eagles and Buddy Ryan. And Buddy Ryan's answer to everything, of course, is you do it with your pass rush. You rush your quarterback. You knock him around. Now, that is going to be the matchup. The Ram offensive line against the Eagle defensive line. And I think for the Rams, they aren't going to block that group every time, but it's what happens when they don't block them. If they can come up and just take a sack now and then, just take a hurry, but don't throw the interception. Don't have the turnover. That's going to be big because the Eagles lead the league in turnovers with 56.
And, of course, you can't forget about Greg Bell and the great year that he had. The Eagles, you think of Randall Cunningham, and you think of the front four. What do you think they have to do?
Well, I think they just have to be able to play a consistent game, and Randall Cunningham has to come up with the big plays. You know, we were talking to Randall Cunningham, and he says that he likes to have a running game, but he likes to be able to throw the ball to and run and throw it. Now, as John Robinson says, we don't worry too much when he just sits in the pocket and throws it, nor do we worry when he runs with it. But when he scrambles around and buys all that time and then hits the deep one, that's the one that we have to stop. The Rams have a new defense today where they aren't even going to use any defensive linemen to chase Randall Cunningham. They're going to have 5 linebackers and 6 defensive backs. Now, we have another first here today, Pat. The autograph or the signature of the commissioner is always on the football. It's been Pete Rozelle. Today, it goes to Paul Tagliabue. So right now, with this kickoff, this is a historic event. It's the first time the new commissioner's been kicked off.
And Roger Ruzick will do the honors. Ron Brown and Robert Del Pino back deep for the Rams. A fine mist falling at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. But as we said a moment ago, not much wind, and that's the good news. A line drive kickoff. Bounces in front of Del Pino, and he just has to fall on it. Wisely did not try to pick it up. The Ram quarterback, 3rd in the NFL. What an outstanding year Jim Everett had in '89. In front of him, 3 guys out of that group going to the Pro Bowl. Newberry, Smith, and Slater. Duval Love is the right guard. Pankey, the left tackle. The backs, Greg Bell, Buford McGee at fullback, Willie Anderson, and Henry Ellard wide. When they go 4, it'll be Cox as one of them and Brown the other. Ellard is the man in motion. And Everett goes right to work. Outside to Greg Bell. First down Rams. Moore. Bell out to the 40. Cut down by Andre Waters. The Philadelphia defensive line, White, Pitts, Brown, and Simmons. Names becoming more and more familiar. The linebackers, Joyner, Evans in the middle, having a good year, and Al Harris. Jenkins and Everett start at cornerback. Hopkins and Waters, the hard-hitting safeties. When they go 6, it's Lilly and Frizzell. 1st and 10 Rams at their own 40. Behind Everett, who looks like he's changing the play. Gives the bell. It's covered by White. 2-yard pickup for Greg Bell.
You know, Pat, it was interesting that first pass play out there to Greg Bell. Jim Everett told us yesterday that the Eagles use a lot of zone, and we want to hit the flats. Now, the flats are the sideline areas between the numbers on the field and the sideline.
Everett said in that same discussion, I'm going to have to be willing to take some sacks, and I want to have to be alert enough to get it into the flats quickly, and he goes there again. That's Del Pino. Taken out of bounds by Eric Everett.
Yeah, there's a guy that is very effective, Del Pino. He's not a starter for the Rams, and he's a fullback who they put in sometimes to run, but mostly as a pass receiver. In fact, Jim Everett told us last night, he said, a key to this game is that when you see Del Pino in, he said, I'm probably going to throw to him.
1st and 10, they got 15 yards on that pass completion from Everett to Del Pino. Anderson on the right, Ellard on the left. Bell. And Greg Bell gets inside the Eagle 40. Stopped by Byron Evans, a gain of just 3.
I think
looks like it might be more.
I think it's a heck of a start for the Rams here, Pat, because, you know, we talked about that front four of the Eagles and this offensive line of the Rams and how they have to control it. And when your quarterback can throw a couple and not even get touched, and you get a couple of runs that can make a few yards, you haven't won the battle all day, but you've won the first round of the battle.
2nd and 7. Still Buford McGee and Greg Bell behind Everett. Lamone Johnson, the tight end. Here is Everett to throw it. Pass is caught by Ellard. Ram touchdown. He out-jumped Isaiah Jenkins. 39-yard touchdown pass. Quieted the stadium considerably.
That was the thing Jim Everett was saying, and John Robinson, that this is the type of thing. We're going to have some bad plays. We may have a whole lot of bad plays, but the way they play defense, we're going to get some big plays. Watch Henry Ellard. He's going against Isaiah Jenkins here. Now, Jenkins goes in front of him. You see, he takes that fight and goes for the ball in front of him. He misjudges it. And then when Ellard catches it, now he's behind Jenkins.
Extra point is good by McFadden. And the Rams take a quick 7-0 lead in this wild card contest. The touchdown again.
Again, this is when it starts with good pass protection, and these types of things can happen.
And the Rams lead 7-0 early in Veterans Stadium. Pat Summerall with John Madden. 5 plays, 83 yards. Scoring first has won 8 out of the last 9 wild card games. That bare foot of Mike Lansford has got to be cold.
You know, there's something stupid about that. When you wear no shoe in your foot and gloves in your hands, something's wrong with that.
Well, you got to remember he's a kicker.
Yeah, that's probably part of it.
Anthony Edwards on the return. Gets to about the 28. Randall Cunningham directs the Eagle offense. That was in the fog game last year against the Bears. 27 out of 54 for him. And that's his offensive line. Alexander starting at left tackle. Shad Remington at center. Ron Soap and Ron Heller on the right side, and Keith Jackson, the tight end. Myers will start with Tony. Carter and Ron Johnson are wide. Greg Garrity is available. Keith Sherman is starting in place of Byers. They introduced Byers, but Sherman gets the call. Tony. Sherman to the right side. A pickup of 2. The Ram defense, and there's going to be a lot of changes, but they'll begin it like this. Miller, Wright, and Peel up front. He'll go as long as he can. Green, Kelm, Strickland, and Wiltshire, the linebackers. In the secondary, Gray, Irvin, Newsom, and Stewart. And then Henley and Jackson come in when they go to 6 defensive backs. 2nd and 8. Eagles at their own 31. That's Tony. And the Rams swarm on him. 2-yard pickup
Randall Cunningham come up there. Now what he's doing is he's audibleizing on the line of scrimmage. You can see him moving his head there. In the huddle, he calls check with me. Then he goes up and he checks the defense and calls the run at the line of scrimmage. That was the run they wanted against the base defense of the Rams. Looks like they should have wanted something else.
3rd and 6. Myers is now in the backfield, and now he's out. Cunningham chased, and down he goes. Kevin Green tripped him up.
I think Kevin Green really tripped him up. Kevin Green was on the ground, and he just throws his leg. Watch Kevin Green. He comes from the top up there. He's coming from the outside. This is a defense where they have 4 linebackers rushing. Now they're playing 5 linebackers, 6 defensive backs. Watch Green. He goes down, and in going down, he trips Cunningham down. But that was that new dime defense.
Rick Tootin back to punt to Darrell Henley. 4th and 23. Tootin off the inside of his foot, and not much of a punt. 30 yards is all. And the Rams will take over between the Rams and the Philadelphia Eagles. Dave Remington has started at center the last 2 games, number 50.
You know what they're talking about there is that defense where they had all the linebackers in there. And Remington is explaining to Shad, well, who'd you have over you? Who'd you have over you? Because the Rams had never shown that this year. That was the first time they saw that. There's Marv Goo. He's the defensive lineman. He's teaching Bethune right there during the game how to rush the passer.
A lot of those guys have never done that. Everett. Ellard. Tripped up at about the 16 by Eric Everett. 30-yard gain. They blitzed, and Everett read it perfectly.
And any time you give a quarterback time like this and a receiver room like this, you're going to get big plays. See what Henry Ellard did? He took Eric Everett and turned him completely around. But the big key there is still the time, Pat. Everett had the time.
The Rams on the move again. 1st and 10 at the Eagles 16. Hit back to Bell. Fumble. And the Eagles get it. But they're going to say he was down after a gain of 3.
That's the thing that can beat this Ram team. The turnovers. You know, what's going to happen when they get hit? They're going to give the Rams the ball back here, saying that he was down before the ball came out.
He was.
He's down there, and then the ball comes out.
No question but that his knee was down.
Hey, you know, we're seeing more and more of that fumbling and wins a guy down. Paul Tagliabue, the new commissioner's here at the game today, and I was just talking to him about that before the game.
Anderson was the man in motion. Everett threw it away. Delpino was the nearest Ram. And as he said, when he's in the game, number 39, I'm going to look in his direction.
He said that's a key, and the other key is he thought that the area to hit the Eagle defense basically is in the flats. Although the way it's going here, he's been hitting this defense all over in this first quarter.
3rd and 7. Rams lead at 7-0. Aaron Cox is split wide to the right this time. Ellard, the move man. Draw play to Bell. And Bell hammers down to about the 5. Near a Ram first down. A gain of 7. He's stripped up by Terry Hogue. This might need a measure.
Hey, he got a good block on that one from Jackie Slater. If you watch, Jackie Slater's a right tackle here. He's a 14-year veteran. He's going to lead. And again, it's that counter thing. Bella's going to get right in here, boom, and then get right in behind Slater. Now watch the right tackle. In fact, he's starting to lean already. Looks like he's going to pull there, Slater. And watch, Arner gets knocked up. Right there, he gets the block. And that's the block that created the hole for Greg Bell.
and got the Rams a first down. It will be first and goal from just outside the 6. Bell and McGee. Handoff is to Bell inside the 5 to about the 4. A gain of 2.
When we talked to Buddy Ryan and the Eagles yesterday, he said the run won't bother us. They aren't going to run because we can choke that off anytime we want to. And, of course, the way they do that is they just go by putting the 8th man up there, putting another safety up there. John Robinson and Jim Everett said, well, we don't intend to win this game by running, although we're going to have to run enough just to keep things going. But if we're going to beat the Eagles, we're going to beat them throwing the ball.
Second and goal from the 4. Del Pino is the lone running back. Holohan in motion. Everett had to throw it away.
You see what he's saying, Bobby? He's talking to Bobby Del Pino. In fact, I think he expected Del Pino to go out for a pass, and Del Pino stayed in. And he went over, and the minute he threw that incomplete, he was going, Bobby, Bobby, Bobby.
What happened, Bobby?
Bobby's going to go over to the sideline and hear about it again. Look, he's starting to explain before he even gets to the sideline.
He and Holohan both stayed in to block. The Eagles still got some pressure. Third and goal from the 4.
And Del Pino was a guy that ever wanted to throw it to.
Anderson on the move again. Signaling touchdown to Damone Johnson. And now they finally, well, they haven't decided yet. Doug Smith thinks it's a touchdown.
There hasn't been an official signal touchdown yet.
They're lining up for the extra point, so obviously it must be. I didn't see anybody signal touchdown except the Rams.
See the catch. It is a touchdown.
It just barely got by the umpire.
I know, and Damone Johnson caught the ball, and he was inside.
The play stands as ruled. Touchdown. We'll go to the extra point.
It just whizzes by the umpire here. He looked like a defender. Damone Johnson comes in, catches that ball, shields off Andre Waters. That was kind of like the basketball players do. You know, where they shield the guy off and get the pass?
Lansford's extra point is good, and the Rams 14-0 now. A flag on the play. 7:40 remaining to play in the first quarter. Gordon McCarter.
Offside, number 20 on the defense. The play is good. 5-yard penalty on the kickoff.
Andre Waters was the man. Not if you're a Ram fan. It's 14-0. Rams lead. That's the scoring drive.
Hey, when you're the road team, not only in the playoffs but any game, that's the way to control it. Come out and be efficient. Boom, 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 score. That's why it's a crowd.
Lansford's kickoff goes down. He is down at about 20. Up by Alfred Jackson. Mark Messner also there with an assist.
Yeah, we talked earlier about how confident both these teams were. We talked to the Eagles, watched them practice first yesterday, and they were so confident that it was almost to the point where they didn't respect the Rams, and then the Rams came in later, and they had the same feeling that they were so confident that they were going to do what they're doing today, and that the Eagles weren't going to be any problem for them.
Myers split out wide to the left. Tony is the lone setback versus the Tin Eagles at their own 20. With the Rams leading at 14-0. They don't know how long he'll be able to play because of a dislocated elbow.
I'll tell you, the fans don't like this, what the Eagles are doing. They're down 14-0, and they're trying to establish the run. I think the fans feel we're down 14-0. Let's get going. Let's get things going here. We pay Randall Cunningham a lot of money. Let's see him do something.
Total domination so far by the Rams. Here's Cunningham back to throw.
See that guy talking there, Mike Shadd. He was the ex-Ram. Remember, Mike Shadd's number 79 for the Eagles. He was drafted number 1 by the Rams. Kept there a couple years, and then he wasn't protected. He was an unprotected Plan B player that the Eagles picked up. He never started for the Rams, and he's been the starting left guard for the Eagles all year. So he's playing against his old teammate.
Nobody else from Canada ever drafted that high. Flag on the play. Cunningham, incomplete. Intended for Keith Jackson. Cunningham really fired it.
Hey, it looks like every play here is ending with a pushing match.
Flag is against the Eagles.
Rams will turn it down and have a
Going
punt.
to motion, number 80 offense, penalty declined, 4th down.
You'll see it right here in the slot. You'll see the movement. See, the slot man starts to move before the ball snaps.
That's Keith Jackson. Gordon McCarter said number 80, but it wasn't number 80. It was 88. Darrell Henley is back deep for the Rams. Rick Tootin. Line drive spiral is good. Henley got away from one man and is taken down by Brett Kager. 44-yard punt that time. Pat Summerall here with John Madden as the Rams lead the Eagles 14-0 in the first quarter. Randall Cunningham just made a change of shoes. He was wearing 2 gloves and 2 black shoes, and now he's changed to only 1 glove.
You know, he changed the right foot, and that's his plant foot. You know, that's the one that you, as you drop back, you set, you plant on. That's the foot that catches you.
Everett back to throw. Incomplete. Knocked away from Henry Ellard by Wes Hopkins.
Well, I think that Everett's first plan was better to keep the ball out in the flats, because most of the time the Eagles are going to be in some type of zone, and when you're in some type of zone, you're going to have a lot of guys in the middle of the field, and that's usually where bad things happen to you.
Especially if Andre Waters is in the neighborhood.
There's going to be a collision.
2nd and 10. Pitches back to Bell. Bell corralled at about 40 by Reggie White. A gain of 4.
This is the type of running game that the Rams want to do. They want to bring the ball out to the right like they're going wide. Stretch it out and then cut it back in. See, they don't think they can get outside because the Eagles play the toss, the sweep very well. But they think they can make it look like they're going outside, stretch it like they're going, and then whap before they get out there, cut it in.
That's the way Bell likes to run, too. Everett back to throw it. The Eagles on a blitz. For Anderson, and he's got it. Gone. No, maybe not. Maybe not. Almost. Isaiah Jenkins finally got him at about the 5. No flags on the play.
And this was the exact type of game Jim Everett thought it would be. He said, we're not going to complete every pass, although he could complete every pass today. He said, but we're going to get some big plays because they have confusion. They leave guys open. We have speed. We can outrun them. We can outrun them with this guy, Willie Flipper Anderson. I tell you, he has come up with some big throws this far.
A gain of 55 yards. Everett to Anderson.
Yeah, that's a heck of a catch there by Flipper Anderson. He had to get those hands out in front and kind of turn around.
Fumble, and the Eagles pick it off in midair. Wes Hopkins came up with the ball.
And Wes Hopkins lateraled it, that old lateral thing. They still don't know who has it.
That looked like Clyde Simmons, who was down. Everett made the stop that finally shut things off for the Rams.
That's the thing in the Eagle defense. defense that they do so well, that turnovers.
By the recovering player, 5 yards from the spot of the pass, first down.
The Eagles do come up with the ball. Ruled an illegal pass after all that confusion.
That it was the fumble, and then that when he went to lateral, it was an illegal lateral. But let's watch the fumble first. We'll see Greg Bell coming in here, the ball in his left hand, and he gets hit. Now right there, you see the shoulder pad, hits the ball right there and knocks it out. Now that knocks the ball out, up in the air. Here comes Hopkins, he catches it. Now he starts to run. Now as he gets tackled, he wants to lateral it. But he doesn't lateral it, he laterals it forward. So then the forward lateral is illegal, so the ball is going to be down right where Hopkins went down.
It's Andre Waters that makes the hit that knocks it loose right there.
Andre Waters puts his shoulder pad right on the ball.
Everett lateraled the ball or passed it to Eric Everett. 11-5. Cunningham looking for somebody behind Jackson.
One of the things the Rams defense wanted to do was give Cunningham a different pass defense look. And they wanted to put those linebackers in those slant lanes or in those lanes where he usually throws to Keith Jackson or Keith Byard. And that's exactly what they did on that last play.
4:08 left to play in the first quarter. The Rams lead 14-0. Cunningham is 1 out of 3. That was a screen pass. And it's in the direction of Jackson. And behind him, Michael Stewart, the Ram defender. Clyde Simmons, the word from the Eagles, has a twisted left ankle. May or may not be able to return.
And you can see that maybe the shoe maybe bothered him early, but hasn't helped him here. He was wearing 2 black shoes, changed to the low-cut white shoe for this series. And I think the field could be a little frozen and slippery down there.
Here's the handoff to Tony. 3rd down. Not enough for a first down. Stopped by Wiltshire. And the fans, again, don't like this choice of plays. 5-yard gain for Tony. Haven't had much to stand up about today.
Well, I know what Buddy Ryan is thinking, that we're down by 4. Now Cunningham is going back to punt. Remember the last time we saw him punt?
A 91-yarder. Maybe that's why he changed his shoes. It's pretty much up to him. Well, that was not a very good effort. Out of bounds at the 40. Everett going right to work. Incomplete, intended for Ellard.
You know, one thing that the Rams are doing, and I think you have to do to Reggie White, especially in the first half, is you keep a tight end in on him, and then you kind of chip him or hit him with that tight end, and then you bring your tackle off. So you have him doubled, and you don't let him get started.
You just bother him.
Yeah, and that's what they're doing. You kind of chip away at him. You put a guy there. You keep a back on him. You keep the tight end on him. You don't let him get out of his tracks.
Everett back to Bell. Bell to about the 35. A pickup of 3. Steve Kafusi, by the way, has replaced Clyde Simmons. That's the matchup John Madden's been talking about.
And that's going to be a key matchup all day. Reggie White against Jackie Slater. Jackie Slater, a 14-year veteran. I mean, he's a guy who really hasn't gone down. And, you know, he's still in the Pro Bowl. He's a guy, great pass protection, who uses his hands, gets him out in front, punches him, does all those things. This is a classic matchup.
3rd and 7. Everett swings it outside. McGee. And McGee is close to another Ram first down. A gain of 6, stopped by Terry Hogue.
You know what this game reminds me of right now is the Ram game against the 49ers. Remember the Monday night game, how they started out and they got 14, and then they were going down to get another one, and they had to settle for 17, and the 49ers came back, though, in that one.
Not enough for a first down, so Lansford, with Holohan holding, will attempt the field goal from 47 yards away. Is a barefooted hook.
I'm sure we saw John Robinson there. He's thinking of that 49er game. I'm sure that never gets off your mind. You have to remember when you're on the road that you have to keep this thing going. You get ahead, it's easy, but you can't think that it's going to be easy all day.
So the Eagles will take over 14-0. Still in the first quarter. Here's how it happened. 39-yard pass, Everett to Ellard, and then a 4-yard pass from Everett to Damone Johnson. That's the way it stands. 14-0. Cunningham looked right, threw left. Pass is picked off by Leroy Irvin. Underthrown considerably.
I'll tell you what happened is Leroy Irvin, before he picked it off, he tripped Ron Johnson. Ron Johnson was a receiver going up the sideline, and he tripped over Leroy Irvin. You watch it; it's going to be out there right there. You see him trip. Now Ron Johnson trips. The only guy up is Leroy Irvin. He gets the interception.
I think what happened is Ron Johnson saw Cunningham look right and then come back to the left. So he broke the pattern and went upfield.
That's a tough thing for Cunningham, too, because once you throw that, the ball's in the air when your guy trips.
1st and 10. Everett goes right to work. Sacked by Jerome Brown out and right. -8. Jerome Brown, the man who got there.
Yeah, I think that after Keith Millard, maybe Jerome Brown is the best defensive tackle in football. I mean, he's a big guy, he's a strong guy, and he plays right over that left guard, and when he gets by that left guard, boom, he's right in that quarterback's face. Look at this defensive line and how they got the sacks. Simmons leads with 11, then Reggie White, then Jerome Brown. They all get their share.
Pitches back to Bell. He is hit behind the line of scrimmage again by Jerome Brown. He may be 300, but he is very quick.
I'll tell you, he's going to be right here, and he just starts, and when he comes across, he gets penetration, and he gets in there. You see, the tackle starts to come down, the center starts to come down on him. Boom, he just runs right by both of them.
3rd and 20. And the remarkable thing about Jerome Brown is he hasn't been able to practice.
Yeah, Buddy Ryan says because of his bad knees and shoulders, he hasn't practiced in 5 weeks.
Draw play to McGee. And McGee moves it into Eagle territory. Stopped by Hogue. Not enough for a first down. A gain of 17.
Hey, that's the way to slow that pass rush down. That's the old NFL trick that anytime someone really gets coming on you, just run a draw right by them.
That's the end of it. Anthony Edwards back deep. Coming after it. Fine punt. Edwards going to let it bounce. Rams almost had it down at about the 1-yard line. Darrell Henley. Comparing the quarterbacks, well, there really is no comparison. Cunningham just 1 out of 5, and that was a screen pass. Everett 7 of 11, 2 touchdowns.
I think that, Cunningham just hasn't gotten started yet because it seems like every time the Eagles get the ball, they haven't had the field position to really, boom, just open up on first down yet, nor had they had enough first downs to get any drives going, to get anything going.
Tony and Sherman are the running backs. Cunningham gets it to beat Sherman, and the Eagles have their first down. A gain of 12. Stopped by Brett Strickland.
I'll tell you, the fans are cheering that first down. They love it. Here's the protection again. Remington there. He's working on right. They double team him. They get Sean Miller down to the inside, and Randall Cunningham just stands back there like it's practice.
1st and 10, Philadelphia at their own 31. Handoff is to Sherman. The Rams are there in a hurry, led by Brett Strickland again.
I think one thing the Eagles are going to find out that running, especially early in the game, is not going to be something you're going to do against this Ram defense, because they're not the big, strong type of defense, but they are that aggressive type that gang tackle. See that whole group of defensive guys there? Most of them get there on a run.
2nd and 8. They do swarm around the ball. Myers put wide to the right this time. Cunningham, flag on the play. Penalty marker down. Carter made the reception, but it's probably going to be holding. Illegal use of the hands.
Illegal use of hands to the face. Number 50, offense. 10-yard penalty, repeat 2nd down.
Against Remington, number 50 in the middle.
Because you're going to see him block it on the nose tackle right in the middle. Now, he puts his right hand up to the face mask initially. See, he's not blocking there. He's passing him off to the guard. So what a center usually does is, boom, they hit him with that hand and then let the guard, in that case, Ron Salt, come down. Remington, when he went to hit him with the hand, he hit him in the face.
2nd and 18. Eagles backed up to their own 23-yard line now. Myers in motion. Cunningham out of the pocket. He's going to take off with it. Tripped by Sean Miller as he started to make his move. He's still got 10 yards. That's when he's dangerous.
And that's what he has to start doing, is getting back there, throwing the ball, opening it up, and then if it's there, just throw it, if not scramble. Here, as you say, Pat, is where he's dangerous. This is an organized rollout. This isn't a scramble. You get outside, you break containment. Now, when he gets out there, it's not over with. He can still run, or he can still throw the ball.
Here's that defense, John. The dime package with 5 linebackers and 6 defensive backs. That's almost picked off by Darrell Henley. Came down in a very awkward manner and obviously hurt himself.
Yeah, that was good coverage by Henley. That's really a quick defense out there, because you say there's no defensive linemen in there. They have 6 defensive backs and 5 linebackers. So the two things they're going to have out there are quickness and speed.
Rick Tootin is back doing the punting now. Leroy Irvin deep for the Rams. Tootin gets off an end-over-end effort. They let bounce. And they'll have to down it. The Rams will take over after a 36-yard punt by Tootin. Los Angeles in the first quarter, 204 yards. The Rams -2 for the Eagles. The Rams obviously had a very fine game plan, a way to attack.
And I think the thing that they learned from that 49er game is that doesn't mean anything yet, that this is a playoffs. The winners get to keep playing, the losers, they're done. And I think that both teams know that this is going to be a fight for 2 halves. And the Rams have to keep going. The Eagles have to start with their defense, disrupting this offense a little. And with their offense, I think Randall Cunningham has to start making some plays.
In a misty rain at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia, 35 degrees of temperature. Everett incomplete, intended for Anderson.
The other thing that I'm impressed with here, again, is thus far, the offensive line of the Rams is winning this battle. I mean, they are giving Jim Everett time to throw. Now, he already has 2 touchdown passes, and he's thrown some incompletes as he did there, but he's had time. The Eagles, one, they want to sack him, they want to turn over, they want to hit him as he throws it, they want to hurry him. They haven't done any of those things to Everett yet.
That's what everybody said coming in. That was the key, the Rams offensive line against that Eagle defensive front four. Jerome Brown.
He's a Pro Bowl player, but I think if you're going to run at Jerome Brown, you're going to lose that matchup.
Brown has 5 tackles already. Reggie White now lined up over the center. Doug Smith. And Reggie does the job.
That's what the Eagles needed to get going. They needed that. They needed, here, this is a place that John Robinson said that he was worried about Reggie. He said he was worried when he got in that position there. He said that he was worried when he got over his center. He didn't think that he could handle him in that position. You can see he just takes the side, and then he goes right through 2 guys.
So Hatcher back to punt. The Eagles come after it. They almost got it. It takes a Ram roll, and still does. Gets all the way to the 40, but only stayed in the air about 20 yards. Winds up being a 38-yard punt. In Philadelphia. That seemed like just a couple of weeks ago, but it was week 2 in the regular season. The Eagles were down 20-0 to the Redskins, and they won that game 42-37. In many ways, that game kept the Redskins out of the playoffs. Here's Cunningham back to throw it. He has Jackson. Jackson fumbled. Rams all around it. I don't know if they came up with it or not. Yes, they did. The Rams get Jackson's fumble. Michael Stewart made the recovery.
You see Randall Cunningham clapping his hand here. I still think that he has, that this is what they had to do. You know, they had to get the ball up the field. They had to get it to Jackson. Even though he fumbles at the end, this is a big play for the Rams. At least the Eagles have gotten something started, even though it ended in disaster.
Wilshire made the hit that knocked it loose. And the Rams take over at their own 22-yard line.
You see what happened? Jackson looked to the outside, saw the corner come from the outside. Jerry Gay switched the ball back to the inside, and that's where it got hit and knocked out.
It's back to Bell. And Bell picks up 4. Stopped by Mike Golick.
You know, another thing that's killing the Eagles thus far, Pat, is that was their 2nd turnover on the first play of a drive. So they're not going to have a lot of offense when you don't have the ball.
You don't get a lot of first downs that way, do you?
Why did they do this? Why did it? Because they didn't have the ball to do it. The other team had the ball all the time.
2nd and 6. For Greg Bell, stopped by Joyner and Hopkins.
You know, the one thing they started running there at Brown, and then they just start the same way and cut it back. The difference is that Brown isn't in there. That's Golick in there now, number 90. So it's a little different against the run. Golick is a pretty good run player, too. But when Brown was there, he was like the cop. There was nada. And then when he goes out, you know, they find a little something in there on that side.
First down, Rams. Bell again. Stopped this time after a very short game. Just 2. Byron Evans. The first Eagle to stop it.
And you see 48 in there, Wes Hopkins. That's Buddy Ryan's answer to the run. When they start to run, he puts his safety up there. And he'll either put Hopkins or Waters up there. Now that puts 8 men up. Now they only have 7 blockers. So when you bring your safety up, you're always going to have a free guy.
And Everett said to us, this is Jim Everett said yesterday, when I see that, that's when I got to throw.
Yeah, he forgot on that play. He ran anyway. Remember Gordon McCarter? We had him as a referee a couple weeks ago in New York, and his mouth froze.
He tried to say what the penalty was, and he couldn't get it out.
Yeah, he threw a flag, and or he meant to drop his beanbag, and he threw his flag. He couldn't get out whether it was beanbag or flag.
Holohan is the man on the move. Outside Del Pino. And a first down Ram. A gain of 10.
Well, that's the thing that they wanted to do. One, when they get Del Pino in there, they're going to throw him the ball. And two, they want to work the flat. So that was a combination. I think if I were playing the Rams, every time I would see Del Pino come in, I'd say, watch Del Pino for the pass.
Every time.
Every time. We saw him a year ago kill the Giants there in New York.
They didn't know who he was. It's Bell again. Lunges for 3 yards by Clyde Simmons. As a little misunderstanding breaks out.
Yeah, that was Mike Golick. He was, in there with the Eagles used 3 tackles. You see Jerome Brown is back now, but Mike Pitts is out. So Golick, number 90, he'll come in and play a couple plays for Brown. Then he'll go over and play a couple plays for Pitts, and that keeps Brown and Pitts kind of fresh.
On second down, here comes the blitz. Everett just had to get rid of it quickly. The Eagles blitz around the corner, and nobody picked him up. Seth Joyner.
Blitz that they aren't going to look pretty the whole game. In fact, Jim Everett said there's something, except he said when I have to throw the ball away, I just have to throw it where it's an incomplete pass and not an interception.
Third down and about 7. Everett now 8 out of 14 for 183 yards. Holohan stays in the block. Everett intended for Anderson on the far sideline, incomplete. Andre Waters there with him. Everett signals fair catch and makes it at the 16. A 31-yard punt by Hatcher. 14-0. They've gotten off to fast starts, but then they've been caught in the fourth quarter. First and 10. Cunningham pump fake. Off play to Heath Sherman. Gain of perhaps 2. Stopped by Alvin Wright.
Yeah, Randall Cunningham and the Eagles are the only team that runs the draw that way. They're going on a with no huddle on this play, where he fakes the pass, then hands in the draw.
Sherman. Jerry Gray with an assist for Larry Kelm. The reason they're doing this, I think, John, is to keep the Rams from getting in that dime package with the 5 linebackers and 6 backs.
Well, they not only have that dime package, but they also have that eagle and hawk look, and they keep them out of all their substitute defenses.
Cunningham. Chris Carter on the sideline, and it's a catch.
This is the type of thing where Randall Cunningham kills you. As he get here, he's in the thing. That's just a straight back pass. They get out of containment. He gets outside. Now he is dangerous. Now he can look. He can throw again. That is the place that he gets you.
And Carter did a good job to get both feet in bounds.
Randall Cunningham says when he starts to scramble, he doesn't think run. He said he's still thinking pass all the way to the point of no return. He said he looks all the time, left, middle, and right.
First down, Eagles. Cunningham out of the shotgun. Ball is deflected, intended for Tony. Was hit by Mike Peel. Buddy Ryan, he has some opinions.
Well, he does, and Buddy has been a coach in this league for a heck of a long time. I mean, he's a guy that, coached for the Jets as an assistant, for the Minnesota Vikings as an assistant, for the Chicago Bears. He was in Super Bowls and all those places. Finally got his chance as a head coach. And anything that happens in football, Buddy's been there.
Screen pass set up to Tony. Not much happening. Brent Strickland read it well. Someone referred to Buddy Ryan as General Patton on the sideline. Cunningham again going quickly. 3rd and 7. Out of the shotgun. As they relay the signal out to the wide receiver. Almost picked off. Intended for Tony. Through the hands of Wiltshire.
I think the Rams and their defense are a lot better when they just contain Cunningham. I don't think you need a big rush. If I were playing against Randall Cunningham, I would rather have him stay in the pocket and throw and not let him get running and throwing. And that's exactly what they did on that 3rd down play.
Rick Tootin back to punt to Darrell Henley. Down at about the 35 by Sammy Lilly and Jesse Small. So the Ram offensive unit returns to the field after a 34-yard punt. They lead 14-0. Here's Everett. Quick to Del Pino. Here's Everett. Quick to Del Pino. And hit very quickly by Byron Evans. A gain of 5, however.
Yeah, one day I'm watching Jackie Slater out there against Reggie White. Watch him block here. He changes up. Sees 78. Del Pino comes out, gives him a little fake, and Slater takes him on, just puts his helmet right up under Reggie's helmet. Usually he gets his hands out there. That time he just butted him. He just headbutted right up under his head. Every time Jackie Slater is changing his technique on Reggie White.
That was pretty good technique right there. Bell to the left side. And Greg Bell close to a Ram 1st down. 6-yard pickup, and it should be.
Well, you know, when you're a 14-year veteran, you have all the tricks, and that's what Jackie Slater is. Now the ball is going to go away. Now this is where you can really mess with a guy. You're running to the other side. So that's when you do stuff like that. You cut him, you grab him, you trip him, you frustrate him. You see, that's exactly what Slater did to White.
In addition to that, he tackled him.
Well, that's the frustrating part. See that? When you tackle the guy, then you frustrate the guy. Then he gets mad already.
Rams at their own 46. Everett. Eller. They're saying he was out of bounds. Eric Allen wasn't supposed to play that much. Is the defender.
And again, to me, the secret still goes that the Ram offensive line is winning that battle on the line of scrimmage. And basically, they're giving Everett the time to do that. It was interesting, that last pass protection, Jackie Slater cut Reggie White. So we saw him butt him on a pass, then we saw him cut him on
It is wrong, completed pass at the 41-yard line. It will be a 1st and 10.
They must have reviewed a tape that we looked at, that Leslie said he had the ball. What they're saying is that he had the ball before. You see that he catches it now. He catches it now, and then he has 1-2. There. Okay, let me see. There he had it, and then he got the second foot in.
And Bell tries the right side. This time stopped by Byron Evans. They're inside the Eagle 40 at about the 38, a 3-yard pickup with 4 minutes 50 seconds left to play in the first half.
Again, what that pass reception was is that he had, when he caught the ball, he had 1 foot in, and then all he needed was 1 more foot.
2nd down. Eller goes wide to the right. Anderson to the left. Here comes the Eagle blitz. They read it. And Holohan makes the juggling reception at about the 32. Wes Hopkins made the stop. Everett got rid of it in a hurry.
Remember as a kid, a guy would hit you and you say, you can't hurt me, you can't hurt me. That's what Pete Holohan had about 22 flaps I counted.
3rd and 1. Bell and McGee behind Everett. Bell wide right. Reggie White stops him shy of the first down. Andre Waters with an assist. No gain.
Yeah, that's the thing. If the Eagles don't want you to run, you're not going to run because they're going to get their safety up there. Reggie White was there. He's always tough to run at. And then their strong safety, Andre Waters, comes flying up in there. Watch, the ball goes out here. Again, they want to stretch it and then cut it back. Watch number 20, Andre Waters. They missed the block there, and if you miss him, he's going to make the tackle. Watch it from this side. See penetration. Now watch number 20 come in, make the tackle right there.
And looks like the Rams are going to go for this one on 4th and 1. And now we're not so sure.
I don't, like I said, this Eagle defense, if they don't want you to run, you aren't going to run against this defense. I would think John Robinson realizes that, tried it on 3rd down, and will probably come back with some type of pass on 4th down.
In fact, Buddy Ryan said to us yesterday, if we don't want you to run, nobody can run. Let's go. Well, 1st down Rams. That wasn't their choice, their original choice, but it was effective. Jerome Brown tripped up Everett.
That's a combination there. The coach is there. Well, let's run it. Let's throw it. Let's run it. Let's throw it. Let's run it. Let's throw it. Then you get in there and say, okay, throw it. And then if they all run off, they give you a big gaping hole like this. Run it. Now everyone's happy. He went back to throw it. He ran it and got a 1st down.
And Robinson happy about the situation at the moment. Again. Picked off by Zell Jenkins. Jenkins could go. Finally knocked out of bounds at about the 18 by Holohan. That could be the break the Eagles need.
And you know that in time they're going to get it. They led the league in turnovers. This defense in regular season had 56 turnovers. Where do you account for that? Again, he throws it out there. Jenkins picks it off right down the sideline.
He stepped out of bounds way back upfield. He didn't get nearly as far as we thought he did. A 33-yard return. The interception by Jenkins.
Yeah, that ball looked like it got away from Everett. That kind of wobble coming out of there. We're going to look and see, and it's somewhere in there he stepped on the line before he started to cut back.
Right at midfield. Right there. Just short of midfield. 1st and 10, Eagles. The pass to Myers, who is tripped up after a pickup of 9 by Stewart. We're going to get, well, he knocked out of bounds. There are 2 seconds remaining before we get the 2-minute warning. That's Ted Plum, the offensive coordinator for Philadelphia. 2nd and 1.
Ted Plum he's always been the offensive coordinator. The Eagles had a very tragic loss a couple of weeks ago when their quarterback coach, Doug Scoville, passed away. And since that time, Ted Plum has taken up part of the quarterback coaching also.
Myers in motion. Pass is knocked down as the pressure was put on by Wilshire. The pass and Cunningham were knocked down. And that is now the 2-minute warning.
Chair and cut his finger, yelling at the defensive line. I could see another chair-breaking ceremony at this halftime.
No flags. 1st down, Philadelphia. Heath Sherman, the ball carrier. And Cunningham is coming to the sideline. Let us rush and pass it. If we don't get it done, then you can blitz. Cunningham. The Eagles will run their hurry-up offense. Kevin Green and Fred Strickland stop Myers. 6-yard gain. 2nd 2nd and 4. Cunningham is going to come out of there, or try to, and now he's down by Kevin Green. A loss of 10 and a timeout in Philadelphia.
See, the thing that the Rams are trying to do is just contain Cunningham. Not rush him, not a big rush. Just don't let him get outside. Kevin Green did an excellent job of that.
Really?
Cunningham, most of the time when he scrambles, he's going to scramble to his right or towards Kevin Green. The only way he can get outside of Kevin Green is if he lets his blocker hook him. And Kevin Green played that perfectly. There's a guy who's been playing almost perfect, old 78 Jackie Slater there. He draws a tough responsibility having to block Reggie White, who could be the best defensive lineman in the game today.
Certainly one of the most dominating.
The thing that's impressed me about Jackie Slater is he's changed his technique. And, you know, we talked about all the different things he's done in the first half to Reggie White. I bet he even has more for the second half.
3rd and 15. Jackson in the slot. Cunningham, incomplete. Here's Ram. And the Eagles will have to give it up.
I think this Ram defense has done an excellent job in this first half, not only of containing Cunningham, but somewhat confusing him with those coverages.
Well, I kept talking about all week about their pass defense being ranked last in the league. But so far, as you say, they've been able to confuse and control Cunningham.
Well, even Randall Cunningham said yesterday they're 28th, but I don't see it. He said, I'll tell you, their nickel defense isn't 28th.
Rams are going to let it bounce. It's going to be down inside the 5-yard line as the rain starts to get a little bit heavier now. Again, a shoving match between some of the Rams and some of the Eagles.
You find a lot of that on special teams. You know, guys running down there, and they don't get a lot of chances to play, but they want to get some hits in. I think what the Rams need here is just run out the clock. What the Eagles need here is a turnover. I think Buddy loves the pressure in this situation, and I think that they're going to go all out to try and knock the ball out of there, get a turnover down here, and get a quick score from this defense.
Probably, if the Rams do try to just run it out, they'll have somebody trying to strip the ball. This is Bell covering it up. Picked up 3 straight ahead.
Well, there's some good shoving in there. Did you see Golick?
Yeah.
He just took his guy.
Not a good place to be. That's just not good judgment.
No, Golick took his guy, Duval Love, and he just shoved him back about 5 yards. Jerome Brown goes in there, huddled to talk to them for a while. Jackie Slater's pointing over there at Reggie White. This is good. This is like wrestling. Yeah, I want to see you. I want you right here. You come right here. That's it.
I'll meet you in the tunnel.
Yeah, I'll get you after. Oh, yeah?
The Eagles took this time out, so they're out.
Yeah, but you see who started it? Look, it was number 20, Andre Waters. So it was a little guy. Poor Jackie Slater, he couldn't even get his mouthpiece. Waters is that kind of guy.
Everett just downs it. And the shoving match continues. They're just going to let it run out now.
Well, they don't have to run another play. The Eagles, of course, are out of timeouts. Get hit. He was just trying to get a first down. And as he backs up and he gets ready to hit, lo and behold, look what happens. He just starts out here. He's going to come in here. He sits down here. He's looking this way. And boom, when he turns, there's nothing there. Watch Tony. Comes out of the backfield straight up the middle. There's no one there. He's back, and the 2 guys miss miss him, and he gets another 10 yards.
I don't know if I've ever seen that happen before.
It's not a bad move.
Here's Cunningham trying to roll, trying to run, intended for Tony again. That could have been picked off. Gray had a legitimate shot at it.
You know, the guy that I thought would be again, the Eagles only have 3 first downs in the first half, so there's not going to be a lot of guys playing, but Keith Jackson, I thought, would be a bigger player in this thing, because we've seen games where Randall Cunningham just plays catch with Keith Jackson.
Well, he was open a few times in the first half, and Cunningham just missed him.
Of course, one time he hit him, he fumbled, too.
Right.
Remember that one? That could have been a big play.
Confusion. Heath Sherman in a mix-up with Cunningham and Alvin Wright.
Hey, when you have a mix-up like that and everyone arrives at the same time, the defense is going to win. But just you have the mix-up, you got guys pulling, the quarterback runs into the running back, and when that happens, here's going to come a bunch of blue jerseys.
And a loss of 4 yards makes it 3rd and 14. Eagles at their own 42, trailing 14-0. Screen pass to Tony. Not enough for a first down. Tripped up by Bethune.
And now these fans want to go for it. That was one of the Eagles' answers. That was that defense we were talking about, where the Rams don't have any defensive line in. All linebackers and secondary. They come up with a screen. They're short. They're inside the 50. Now, the Eagles run a lot of fake kicks. And this is the area where the Rams are in what they call safe return. They're leaving their defensive front end waiting or ready for a fake punt here.
Henley and Irvin back deep. This is Tootin's punt. And this is a good one. Will down it at the 6. Sammy Lilly down it. 42-yard punt that dies at the Rams' 6-yard line. Number 8.
Yeah, it's a good starting time for that game too. 1:30 Eastern time. You know, the day after New Year's Eve. Right there, everyone's about ready to go about that time. Watch the ball.
Now, this crowd here is trying to inspire that Eagle defense. They don't need a lot of inspiration. Rain coming down harder. Anderson goes in motion. Everett up the middle of Holohan to about the 25. Seth Joyner dragged him down, but that'll quiet the crowd down.
Holohan's going to make all celebration. I mean, we saw him. I mean, he darn near throws his shoulder out of joint. He gets there. They have the tight end short, the first tight end short. Holohan coming across in a layered thing and getting a first down. Hey, I think the reason he's so happy is that is not only a first down, but it quiets the crowd down.
And it gets him some breathing room as well.
Surprised he still has an AC joint.
This is Bell. Hit by Seth Joyner. A 1-yard gain.
If we look at Jim Everett and we see where he's passed nothing deep to the left, 2 for 5 in the middle, 2 for 3 to the right. Those were his big ones. Then his short control passing game is really spread it around. 3 for 5 to the left, 3 for 3 in the middle, 1 for 3 to the right short. So their game plan, Ernie Zampese, the offensive coordinator, calls the plays, has really done a pretty good job of mixing up pass and run, and also mixing up where they pass it.
2nd and 9 from the 25. Incomplete in the direction of Henry Ellard. Ram possessions, the first 2 times they had the ball, they got 2 touchdowns. The last 7, not so successful. They lead 14-0.
And again, you know, they've had experience. They've been through a lot of experiences this year. They got off to a real good start. They had a bad middle, pretty good ending. And in that thing, John Robinson and his team have been through ups and downs and about everything that can happen in a game. And I think that has to help them in these situations.
Here comes the Eagle blitz. Everett incomplete, intended for Eller. That big first down catch by Holohan got them some breathing room, but they're still going to have to punt. Dale Hatcher averaging 38-7 today. Anthony Edwards back deep. Eagles again put the pressure. Edwards makes the catch, ducks under a couple, and now is down at about the 45. 31-yard punt, 3-yard return. Mel Farr just activated, down to make the stop. 14-0 with 9:41 now left in the third quarter. Rams lead in the third quarter. First down, quick pass to Johnson. Up quickly is Gray. 3-yard pickup. Make it 2nd and 7.
Yeah, there's a guy who's played well for the Rams this year is Jerry Gray.
Really?
In fact, he's made the Pro Bowl, one of the good corners in this league. And the funny thing about it is on nickel, Jerry Gray plays safety. In fact, they're talking about, maybe next year moving him to safety.
On 2nd and 7. Cunningham back. Out of the pocket. Larry Kelm made the stop. Cunningham on his own. Rambled for an Eagle first down, a gain of 11.
That's what I think Randall Cunningham is trying to do, is take it in his own hands now. He's going to make something happen, get his offense excited, get his team excited, get these fans excited and back into the game. And this is what he does best. Move with the football. Whether you throw it or run it at the end of it, he has to move with it. And the more he moves with it, the more effective he is.
Eagles are at the Ram 39 now. Myers comes in motion, and Cunningham is going to put it up. Incomplete. For Myers, covered by Stewart.
I'm still surprised that he doesn't look more for Jackson. I would think that this Ram defense wanted to take away these two guys, Keith Byers and Jackson. And I would think that they're doing a heck of a job at taking away Keith Jackson so far.
2nd and 10 it brings up. There's Jackson.
Jackson runs those little slant, those little control type of things, and the Rams are just putting their linebackers out in that area where he can't do it.
Jackson only has one catch, and he fumbled after that one. Here's Cunningham back. Again chased out of the pocket, chased by Kevin Green, and tripped up from behind after a gain of 4. Going to see a lot more of that.
Well, the thing is, Green gives him that speed. You see, he can rush from the outside up on top. Now he has containment. Now watch him on top. When Cunningham breaks, he can break. And he's quick enough to catch it. A lot of guys can do things, but they don't have the quickness to do it. The fans just got excited here, Pat, because Greg Garrity just came into the game. And he is a real favorite of this Eagle group.
That's the owner of the Philadelphia Eagles, Norman Brayman, looking on. Third down. This is the Eagles' deepest penetration into Ram territory. Up and out to Byer. And he will not get the first down. Leroy Irvin and Fred Strickland.
And this is going to be an interesting call for Buddy Ryan. What do you do here? His whole team was around him. They wanted to go for it, but he's not letting them go for it.
He'll try for the field goal. Although this guy threw a touchdown pass last week. Ruzick did.
I believe when you're down 14-0 or you're anything to nothing, you just got to get a score to start building on.
It'll be a 48-yard effort by Ruzick. Cavanaugh holding. When it took off, it looked like it had plenty. But when it starts to rain and gets cold, No matter whose signature is on the ball, it just doesn't go as far. 14-0.
This thing is straight between the uprights and boom, just short. From 48 yards away, look at this. He thinks he got it.
Now he knows he doesn't. Looks like somebody shot him.
He goes into an all-pro hunker.
Handoff is to McGee. Straight ahead. Rain coming down a little bit harder still. Mike Golick made the stop after a 2-yard gain by Buford McGee.
I remember one thing is, you know, coaching, being in the sideline there, that you always want, I mean, you always wanted to be ahead anytime. I mean, that's a stupid thing to say, you wanted to be ahead. But if it started on night and then rain was coming, you always wanted to get that quick early lead, because once the rain came, you had no idea what was going to happen with that football.
And that's exactly what the Rams did. Holohan in motion. Everett gets it to Holohan somehow.
I tell you, there somehow has to be pass protection again. I mean, I am surprised. I thought that the Eagles were going to put a lot more pressure on Everett than they have, and you can't give enough credit to this offensive line. There's no way that Everett should get this much time. Watch him here. He just has the time. He's looking, and then he finally throws it. But that is perfect pass protection.
One of the things that John Robinson said is one of the unsung matchups will be Duval Love against Mike Pitts. He said that's one of the keys. Duval Love has to block him. Holohan gets the first down from Everett. 7-yard pickup.
Yeah, the other thing John Robinson was saying, that he said everyone's saying about their front four, and he goes, I know about their front four. He said, you just have to block them. I mean, what's so new about this? I mean, you don't come up with things where you get some guy from some lab who gives you a scientific experiment or something, or some computer that shoots something out.
Although he did say we got a lot of new guys on defense. In fact, some of them I haven't even met yet.
I've played some guys on defense I don't even know.
Everett's chase gets rid of it in the direction of Ellard, and Ellard just couldn't hold on.
One of the things that Jim Everett does a lot of is run and throw. I mean, he is a pocket passer. He is a pure pocket passer, and I was kind of surprised that he even went to that, because with the protection he's getting, he really doesn't have to do that.
He was chased by Byron Evans, who almost got there. That would have been enough for a first down if Ellard could have hung on.
Hey, if you want to make Ram fans or Coach John Robinson nervous, all you remind them is that at the end of this year, Everett's contract is over. He is a free agent. Then they all start getting jittery.
Behind the line by Byron Evans.
I was surprised they tried to run that sweep, because that's one thing that they knew that they can't do. You can't do this. They thought they could take it out there, stretch it, and cut it back, but not just outrun it. In fact, maybe Bell was trying to cut back. You look at this, you can see that they haven't rushed well to the left all day. They have 5 yards over there, 47 in the middle. That's when they've had their most success.
3rd and 15. Rams at their own 41-yard line. Everett back to throw. Here comes an Eagle blitz. Intended for Aaron Cox. Knocked down by Eric Allen. He's had a Pro Bowl year.
Well, he has, and he really has missed the last 2 games. In fact, he's only playing in special situations today. He hurt his Achilles tendon, and you see the pressure there. Everett had to get rid of that one. And Eric Allen out there kind of hobbling, but still with good coverage.
Hatcher. Eagles put the pressure on again. A flag on the play. They roughed the kicker, or knocked him down. This is a big penalty.
Well, this will be a big one. As you say, there's another flag down here, Pat. If it's a 5-yard penalty, it won't be a first down. If it's a 15-yard penalty, it will be a first down. Is it roughing the kicker or running into the kicker? Running into the kicker is just 5 yards.
Personal foul. Roughing the kicker, number 54 on the defense. Also a personal foul, number 51 after the play on the kicking team. The penalties offset.
Well, that's Britt Hager there. And that was a roughing the penalty, roughing the punter. So that's a 15-yard penalty against the Eagles. Now, I'm not sure what this next one is.
He said a personal foul offsetting. He might have changed his mind.
The second personal foul on 51 was also on the receiving team.
So that's two penalties.
Accepted will be the roughing the kicker, 15 yards and first down.
So 51 is Ricky Shaw, also on the Eagles. So the first one was against 54 of the Eagles. That's Britt Hager. The second one was 51. That's Shaw. So when he first said it, he said it was
4 times for 30 yards, including that big one right there. Jerome Brown still talking to Gordon McCarter about what went on. There were 2 personal fouls by the Eagles on the same play. So one of them they got away with.
Well, they're not finished marching this thing off yet. I think that's just the one there, because that gives the Rams a first down. So they only gave him, that is the 15-yard penalty. They do anything they want to.
In any case, it's first down, Rams at the Eagle 44. They give this to Bell to about the 41. Tripped up by Waters, a 3-yard pickup.
Yeah, that was a big penalty. That you know, the Eagles again down 14-0, trying to make something happen. And you go for something, then you get 2 15-yard penalties, and then you get your strong safety, Andre Waters.
And 7. Rams at the Eagle 41-yard line. Everett backpedaling, and he's going to take off with it and slide at about the 33-yard line, 7 yards.
There's the play before, and this shows Andre Waters, and you see him hitting Bell there, and he hurt his shoulder with that hit. He went his left shoulder.
Everett near a first down. 6 inches short, about 3:09 left to play in the third quarter. The Rams 14, the Eagles nothing.
I think if the Rams can get one in here, I think that for all intent and purposes, the game could be over. I think if they could get 7 here, they could win the game right here in this drive.
That's the Ram coaching booth high above.
Red Whittingham there, Dick Corey.
Bell close, but I don't know if he made it or not.
Well, if he didn't, it'll bring up an interesting decision for the Rams. I think they have to go for it. If they don't,
he made it.
Yeah, well, if they don't, I still think you go for it. Because you're on the 52-yard field goal, you're not going to make that anyway.
The last 2 times these teams played in postseason play was way back in 1949. It's going to bring up a 4th down.
I think they have to go for it. That's what John Robinson has decided to do. This is good short yardage defense by the Eagles. Again, the guy who got the penetration there was Reggie White. He knocked him down. Now, here's a tough thing. They took a delay of game, so they just stood over there, and I guess they couldn't come up with a play. So they either should have taken time out or faked something. You know, put the quarterback up there. Everett stood over on the side, and they just took a delay and decided to punt.
That's the first penalty of the day. Eagles do refuse it. Dale Hatcher comes in to punt. What I started to say about that last playoff game between these two teams. Norm Van Brocklin was the Ram quarterback, and Steve Van Buren led the Eagles.
Now that's football. Van Brocklin against Van Buren. And of course later Van Brocklin came over and played for the Eagles
and won a championship with the 1960 team. Here's Hatcher. The Eagles have come close to blocking a Hatcher punt a couple of times. Everybody pointing. Tries to put a number up there. Into the end zone. The Eagles will begin at the 20, a 40-yard punt.
So they should have gone for it on 4th and inches. They didn't need this.
14-0. Rams started off like it was going to be a blowout. They scored the first 2 times they had the ball, and that has been it. Neither team has done very much since then. Heath Sherman finally knocked out of bounds by Vince Newsom, but a gain of 23.
About this, the Eagles have kept going with that. This is what they call a G play. The on-guard pulls and kicks out the linebacker. Heath Sherman comes in right behind his linebacker, Shad, and breaks through the hole.
First down, Philadelphia at their own 43. Cunningham back to throw it. Jackson fumbled. I think the Eagles got it back. Like Ron Heller, bad thumb and all, came up with it. Now the Rams are saying they've got it.
This has been a bad day for Keith Jackson. He's caught 2 passes, only 2 passes all day, and both times he's caught the ball, he's fumbled it.
Ron Heller's got a broken thumb that has a pin in it, which they'll take out next May, he told me yesterday.
The 2nd down.
All day, and it's the 2nd one that he fumbled today. He got up the wrong side of the bed. Maybe should have stood in bed.
Game, Tony, Wiltshire.
I think these fans hate the running game. You can see that they're talking to the offensive linemen down there, and again showing them the stunts and the types of things that the Eagle defense is doing. One thing about an assistant coach, you know, they draw plays all day and then or all week, and then they draw them the day of the game.
3rd and 5. Little production out of Jackson and Byers today. Caught by Garrity. That's what he does so very well. Leroy Irvin made the tackle on Garrity.
Well, the fans love Greg Garrity. I mean, he's one of those overachiever guys, always hustling. He broke his collarbone against the San Diego Chargers and was inactive until today. He was first activated today.
That's the end of the 3rd quarter with the...
Receivers on this Eagles team are Randall Cunningham or Keith Byers, who's his running back, who also plays tight end and slot and passing down, and then Keith Jackson. Now Byers has the bad ribs today, and they're spotting him in on passing down, and of course Jackson has the fumbles.
2nd and 3. Eagles at the Ram 35 now. Cunningham rolls to his left. Now stops. Complete, I believe, to Ron Johnson.
That is an amazing effort by Cunningham, Pat. He started to roll, he stopped, he started to run, came back, and then threw. Watch this. This is a bootleg. He has his guard out there. Now there he starts to step up and run, stops, comes back, and throws the easy one out there to Ron Johnson. That is what drives a defense crazy.
And you can see why, because you're never sure what he might do. The because he could do everything. Tony didn't hear the play. Now he's got it. Cunningham back to throw. With time, the ball's batted down.
We talked about the pass protection of the Ram offensive line. That was great pass protection by the Eagle offensive line. In fact, it was darn near too good because the Ram defense didn't get off the line of scrimmage. And in doing so, it was tougher for Cunningham to throw over it. There was Fred Strickland right in the middle of the picture. He just got his left hand up, knocked that ball down.
They wanted Strickland to go against Shad because they thought he was much quicker. Go against rushing the passer, obviously. Cunningham to Byers. Byers struggles in the arms of Michael Stewart. Mike Wiltshire.
I'll tell you one thing for this Ram defense today, they have tackled well. Here comes this defense now, Pat. They're even going to play it down here on the 20-yard line. Look, all the big guys go out. Now, here's their huddle. All they have in there is linebackers and defensive backs. They're going to play 4 linebackers in defensive line positions. 1 linebacker, number 54, Wiltshire, in a normal, and then the 6 defensive backs.
3rd and 6. Cunningham's going to try to get around it. And he will get out of it. And get an Eagle first down. Vince Newsom finally brought him down with help from Strickland. The Eagles get a first on an 11-yard run by number 12.
Hey, this is the thing that he can do. Watch Cunningham. When he starts here, he brings the defense here. Then he stops here and brings it all the way back. But watch what happens when he starts to the left. He starts there. Now look, right now, if we look at this lane back here, we see that if he can get right through there, there's no one out there. So not only does he get it up the field, but back across the field.
First and goal from just inside the Ram 10. Cunningham. Fires at about the 5. Knocked backwards by Kevin Green. And Sean Miller.
Hey, Keith Byers is a tough guy.
Really?
You know, the fact that he has ribs, and as you know, there's nothing more painful than those rib cartilage because there's no way to protect them, and anytime you get hit anywhere, that blow seems to go right to the rib area.
And you can't do anything without pain. Cough, sneeze, almost can't breathe.
Get in and out of a chair.
Cunningham going to take off. He jumped through 1 tackler. Picked up 4 and almost scored. Sean Miller finally brought him down.
I think he has the answers now, Pat. He has 1 black shoe, 1 white shoe, and no gloves. I think that's the answer. Because in the second half on this drive, he's starting to get things going. Here's where he's so dangerous. This is what the Rams talked about all day yesterday. Inside the 20, him going back and then running it himself.
3rd and goal from the 1. Sherman with Tony now the tailback. Sherman the fullback. Hand off to Tony. He's in. Stadium to life. Now the rain is just about stopped also. Ruzek for the extra point. 14-7. Rams lead the Eagles. We have 10:58 left to play at Veterans Stadium. Tony's touchdown. far, the Rams scored the first 2 times they got the ball. The Eagles just got on the board. They went 80 yards. Randall Cunningham accounted for 66 of the 80, and that's what they have to do.
And I think this is going to be a heck of a game before it's all over, because when the Rams had them on the ropes, they didn't knock them out. And they gave the Eagles chance. And you give them too many chances. Now Randall Cunningham started making things happen on the offensive possession. Now it's the defense's turn to see if they can keep that momentum that they just got.
And the Rams on offense have not been able to make anything happen since the first 2 tries.
And then you keep thinking of the turnovers, and the Eagles leading the league in turnovers, getting 56 in the regular season.
Ruzick will kick it off. Too early for an onside kick. Delpino and Brown back deep. That's Ron Brown. And the Eagles special teams are down in a hurry. 14-yard return by Brown. That's Ricky Shaw doing the celebrating. That's not Ricky Shaw.
Since Buddy Ryan came here to Philadelphia, these fans have learned to appreciate defense, and they tend to root for their defense and yell for their defense more than the offense.
A Ram first down at their own 24. 10 minutes, 50 seconds left to play, and the Rams lead it by a touchdown. Anderson slides and came up with it. Amazing how a 22-yard pass completion can quiet down 60,000 people.
I'll tell you, though, watch the pass protection again. Watch Jackie Slater here going against Reggie White. That is perfect pass protection. These guys have been going at it all day. And I'll tell you, Jackie Slater has done an excellent job. And we know that this is an excellent job on this end of it, if that ball didn't hit the ground. I don't know if that didn't hit the ground.
It looked awfully close.
What if they're going to review that? Too late now.
Right now. Everett. Pass is picked off on a rebound by Seth Joyner. Lateral back to Waters. He dropped it. And the scramble's on, but the Eagles came up with it. Isaiah Jenkins made the recovery. To celebrate for Wes Hopkins. That's the Rams' 3rd turnover.
That's what this Eagle defense does the best. That is a heck of a play there. I mean, look at that coverage there. That's great coverage and a great interception. And then, you know, the Eagles practice this. They practice lateraling. And they do that, you know, get the ball, that old rugby thing.
Hopkins and Waters combined to keep it for the Eagles. Here's Cunningham on the drop play. And he's stripped. Here's Sherman. And the Eagles get this one back.
The Eagles got some good breaks. Seth Joyner made a great interception, and then he laterals, and they receive that. Then they get a good draw play here. You see, Sherman's going to fumble right at the end of it, and it goes right into another Eagles' hand. That was Jerry Gregg, just pulled it out. And look, right there is Chris Carter.
And the Eagles get a first down out of the whole thing at their own 45. Cunningham back quickly. Intended for Jackson and right through his hands. I beg your pardon, it was Chris Carter.
Randall Cunningham really put some mustard on that one. I think Chris Carter couldn't react quickly enough. That ball was thrown about 120 miles an hour. You know that gun? Put one of those guns on it.
An ominous statistic for the Rams. 3rd quarter.
And you can look at the Eagles 4 times this year. They've come back in the 4th quarter. In big games, too.
2nd down. Cunningham dropped it and fell on it. That'll bring coming up at 3rd and 10, and the Rams come with their. Roman Bremen couldn't sit down any longer.
Not only couldn't he sit down, he had to face the other way. He had to turn his head and not watch that. He said, that's the most elementary of football plays, the exchange between the center and the quarterback. Although the center is Dave Remington, starting for his 2nd time. David Alexander, their regular center, has moved to left tackle.
3rd and 11. The Rams with their 5 linebackers and 6 defensive backs. Cunningham going deep for Ron Johnson. Incomplete. And no flags. Michael Stewart was the Ram defender who knocked it away.
This is the area of defense that is winning this game for the Rams. This is that dime package. It's where they have 5 linebackers, 6 defensive backs, and it looks like every Eagle receiver has 2 or 3 guys on him. You see Ron Johnson is doubled here, but every other receiver was also doubled.
Rick Tootin. Bootin' Tootin, they call him. Root. Line drive kick. Catch single. Darrell Henley. The Rams take over at about their own 20. 8:17 remain. The Rams continue to lead by a touchdown.
I think that's the thing that the quarterbacks hate more than anything is that ball that gets slick. And, you know, sometimes it gets so cold that it gets slick and just slide out of their hand.
On 1st down, the handoff is straight ahead to Bell. A pickup of 4. If the Rams win, they would go to the Meadowlands to play the Giants next week. And Minnesota would go to San Francisco. If the Eagles win, the reverse is true.
Well, the Eagles would go to San Francisco, but they would start off right away. They have plans already to go to Santa Rosa, California, and that's where we used to train the old Oakland Raiders. And if the Eagles win, they're going to go and spend a week there, have a training camp there. And they were all talking about flying out to California tomorrow already, I know.
Let's see what's happening.
Please reset to 30 seconds.
Reset the 30-second clock is what he wanted. We've just gotten word that the Rams phones the owner of the Rams, Georgia Bankieri, Everett. Almost to Holohan. And there was a chance for it to be intercepted.
One thing you like about the Pete Holohan, when he catches a ball, you get a lot of good celebration. Remember in the old days, guys used to just make a tackle or catch a pass, but Holohan is one of those guys that, you know, brings a lot of excitement to the team and the game and the emotion and all those things. A fired up guy.
He can do a lot of things.
I know that John Robinson felt real happy when they were able to get him from the Chargers.
He holds for field goals and extra points. He can stay in and block, and he can catch. Everett. Pass is caught, but I don't think it'll be enough by Everett for a 1st down. A gain of 5.
That was a big tackle. You know, some plays go down and you don't even notice them, but coming up and making that tackle and stopping Ellard short of a 1st down was a big play.
Hatcher into punt. They're going to measure this at the request of the Rams. Going to come all the way across the field. That was a big play, as you said.
Well, you know, it's something that doesn't go in the stats, and Izell Jenkins' name won't go down as one of the big plays of the game. But making that tackle and saving those inches is a big play.
Again, the Eagles on a couple of occasions have come very close to blocking a punt. And you remember how they lost to Minnesota, the Rams, in overtime, a safety on a block punt.
The Rams had better get going. They started out like they come out of the chute, drag racing to the cliff about 100 miles an hour and put on the brakes. They've been in a skid.
Hatcher back to punt. Anthony Edwards back deep for the Eagles. Boy, you don't want to be offsides. They're going on a long count. Yelling as long as he could. Hatcher got rid of it. Edwards knocked backwards by the Ram coverage, led by the man who snapped it, Mike McDonald. Only a 33-yard punt, a 2-yard return. And the Eagles take over with 6:34 remaining. Summerall with John Madden. The Rams leading 14-7. The timeouts remaining, 3 apiece. Cunningham, the Eagle quarterback. Pressure now on the Ram defense. The hand to Heath Sherman. Stopped by Alvin Wright after a pickup of 3. That looked like it was going to get more than that.
Well, you know, it's something you play all season. You go to training camp now. The season is down. There's 10 teams. Starting today, there's 10 teams. There's going to be 8 teams after today. If you win this, you get to stay in the tournament. You still have a shot at being a Super Bowl champion. If you lose this, then your season's over.
Cunningham, incomplete. Through Garrity's arms. 3rd down.
And here comes that defense we've been talking about all day for the Rams, where the defensive linemen go out. You see this huddle here. It's all linebackers and defensive backs. This defense, this group of guys, has been very, very successful because the front group of linebackers that have rushed have done a good job of containing Cunningham, and the back group have done a good job of covering, not letting them have anything there.
They need 7 for a 1st down. Cunningham has a man open. It's knocked away. Jackson was open, and Alfred Jackson knocked it away. They'll bring up a 4th down, and now the clock becomes very much a factor.
As you say, Alfred Jackson makes a heck of a play here. It looked like Keith Jackson. In fact, Keith Jackson was wide open. Cunningham makes that throw down there. Alfred Jackson comes out of nowhere. Watch him. I mean, if he doesn't make that play, Keith Jackson's going to be down inside the 20.
Rick Tootin back to punt. Darrell Henley and Leroy Irvin back deep for the Rams. Good kick. Henley tripped up by William Frizzell. 40-yard punt. 2-yard return. So the Eagles net 38. The Rams take over. Clock stops on the change of possession at 5:44.
I know now, right now, this defense is going in there thinking that they have to win the game. This defense, and the way Buddy Ryan teaches, is that defense can win, defense can score, defense can be an offense. And if you're going to be an offense, this is the time of the game, the time of the season, and the position on the field to be one.
We've seen this defense win games for them. Holohan in motion, and Everett's going to go back to throw it. Outside quickly to Buford McGee. And they didn't get much out of that. Al Harris made the stop, a gain of only a yard. Hardly worth putting it up.
You know, Jim Everett hurt his hip during the season, and he went through a spell there of about 4 weeks where he wasn't very efficient, although he kept playing. And they say it's better. I still don't think that's better. In fact, he was saying the other day that it probably won't heal until about April.
Brings up 2nd and 9.
Wonder just how great he could have been, or what he would be if he didn't have that hip bothering him all year.
This is not a day that would be conducive to make you feel well. That's Bell. Outside the 20, about the 21. Pick up a 4, stopped by Clyde Simmons.
I think the Rams are trying to do is take time off the clock. But he can see here that he wants to get the ball back. But I think he wants to get the ball back right about here. He doesn't want to get it back in the other end of the field.
Right. They let that clock run just as long as they can. 30-second clock is down to only 15 seconds, so they still can take some more. Jim Everett, the Rams from their own 20. Delpino comes in motion. Everett has Buford McGee. They thought they could spring something like that, and they spring it for 16 yards and a first down.
Yeah, that's the play that Jim Everett was talking about, and they wait until the end of the fourth quarter to get it. And again, it's just McGee coming straight up the middle. Delpino was to the outside, and they just try and put their fullback straight up a seam in the zone and hit him there. It was funny. That was one of the plays that Everett thought would be a good one for him today, and they waited all this time to get to it.
And they get a first down with it. And again, the clock runs down. First and 10 at the 36, and Everett back to throw it again. He's going to be sacked. No, he's not. Intended for Ellard. What a dangerous throw. Isaiah Jenkins back there with Ellard.
There's a guy who's only in his second year, Isaiah Jenkins, who's playing pretty well today. You know, the other corner, Eric Allen, made the Pro Bowl, but Jenkins has been doing a good job of coverage, and he came up with that big tackle last time. Look at Clyde Simmons. You see him? He goes flying for the arm of Everett, misses him. Jenkins, good coverage on the other end. Boy, those are bodies flying down there.
Second and 10. 3:23 remains. Holohan was the motion man. The draw play to Bell. Bell off to the races. Greg Bell chased by Jenkins. Finally caught by Jenkins inside the 10. Tried to strip the ball loose, and it almost worked. A 55-yard sprint by Bell.
Everybody, no one thought that the running game would be a big factor in this game, but I think the running play just won this game right here for the Rams. They needed a play. They'd gotten a pass to McGee, and then Bell makes a big run here. Good block by McGee on that one. He just picked off Hopkins enough to let Greg Bell get to the outside.
He almost knocked that ball loose.
Well, he did. He knocked it out of his right hand and into his left hand.
First and goal at the 10. And let's see who called the timeout. The Rams. Bell just went over 100 yards. 25 carries for 114 yards.
And that's the play that could send the Rams to the Giants.
I don't believe, John, that the Eagles during the regular season allowed any running back to get 100 yards.
Oh, and they've had very few rushing touchdowns in the season also. I mean, that's something that Buddy always felt. There's no one runs against us, and the Rams just stayed with it, and finally, probably when they needed it most, they popped the biggest one.
Stay with us when this is over, because coming up on our post-game show, Brendan Irv with a pair of special guests, Leonard Marshall of the Giants.
Yeah, because Doug Scoville's not only a quarterback coach for Randall Cunningham.
On second down, Bell again. He's close and in. Ram touchdown by Greg Bell.
Well, that's John Robinson, and I know what he's going to say. I know the first thing he's going to say to his team and say, we wore him down. That's what John Robinson preached from. I remember when he was with me as an assistant coach, when he was a head coach at USC, and here he says, we'll wear him down, we'll wear him down. And that one, they just, boom, they just popped it in there. He raised his hands, and I'll guarantee you, he said, we wore him down.
And he's done it with the running attack, which they said couldn't be done.
And hey, you talk about a guy who's done an outstanding coaching job. John Robinson with a lot of different guys.
The extra point makes it 21-7. 2 minutes and 14 seconds remaining. Bell with another big day.
You know, you think of John Robinson. I mean, he did it with a running game when he had Eric Dickerson. Then he gets Greg Bell. He always has a 1,000-yard runner. He did it. He stayed in there when Jim Everett was hurt. Then they've developed Everett. than he did it when he didn't have a defense with no defensive lineman. The guy is a great coach at making adjustments and a great coach at using what players he has and doing with them, making the best with them.
Well, what a job he did with this guy, Greg Bell.
Now, he's talking to him about wearing him down. He's telling him, I told you we could wear him down. He preaches, John preaches that all week, and then on Sunday he continues to preach it.
Bell is the first back to gain 100 yards or more against this Eagle defense since week number 2 when Gerald Riggs did it.
Good.
High kicked off in the direction of Anthony Edwards. He takes it at the 10. Still has room, and that disappeared. Michael Stewart made the stop. If the Rams go ahead to win this game, which it would seem they will, it'll be the Rams against the Giants next Sunday. NFL Today begins it at noon. Vikings against the 49ers at 3:30. That's on the 6th. And as I said, the Giants and the Rams on the 7th on Sunday.
Here's a guy, if you gave a ball that number 78 there, I think he'd get a game ball. In fact, I think I'd give him 2. I think I'd give him 2 game balls and a box lunch.
Might give the other guy something too. 2-ball love. But we haven't heard anything from Pitts.
That's right. I don't know that Pitts makes a tackle today.
I haven't heard it. Anthony Toney made the reception. Keith Byers, beg your pardon. 17-yard pickup, an Eagle first down. We get the 2-minute warning with the Rams leading 21-7.
They didn't have any pass rushers or any defensive linemen, but they knew that they had to do one thing today. They had to rush and contain Randall Cunningham, and I'll tell you, they've done that. I think that the leader of that group was Kevin Green.
That makes the turnovers even today, 3 apiece. And we showed you that graphic earlier. When the Eagles were plus in turnovers, they won 11 times. When they were minus, they lost 5 times. Now they're even. And they're losing. They take a timeout. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Philadelphia Eagles and the National Football League is prohibited. A reminder that tonight on CBS begins with 60 Minutes. What are you doing New Year's Eve? 60 Minutes is spending part of it with Robin Williams, urinals and stays. And the Eagles are out of timeouts after this one.
That's the thing that is so tough in these playoffs, is the finality of it.
Yeah, it really is.
You know, that
it's gone. It's done.
Yeah, it's gone. I mean, your whole season, you started in July, and you look forward to being in the playoffs. Then you get there, and then you look, and the bottom falls out. There's no more. You don't have to practice next week. You don't have to fly to California. You don't have to go to San Francisco. You don't play the 49ers.
Just sort of empty.
Yeah. You start your off season. And then on the other side, you're in there. I mean, it's like New Year's Eve. As a matter of fact, it is New Year's Eve, isn't it?
It is. Happy New Year, John.
Yeah, Happy New Year to you and
to everybody.
To all. But, you know, I mean, it is. It's like, you know, this is it. This is a party. We've been invited to the party, and they've led us on the dance floor.
In a way, it begins sudden death when they begin the wild card game with a kickoff. Next Saturday, again, a reminder, here on CBS, Minnesota at San Francisco. It begins with the NFL Today. That'll be at 3:30 Eastern Time. And then on Sunday at 12 Eastern Time, the NFL Today, and then the divisional playoff game between these Rams and the New York Giants at the Meadowlands.
You know, and of course, they played in the regular season. We did that game out in Los Angeles. The Rams were coming off a 3-game losing streak, and they beat the Giants out there in L.A. So they know that they have to do it the hard way. They have to do it on the road, but they also know that they have already beat the team they're going to play in the playoffs.
They also know they have to play one more game than the team they're going to face next week. Less than a minute remaining. The Rams send in their punting unit, leading 21-7.
I'll tell you, these guys, you know, the offensive line came in here of this Ram team. They were challenged. They had to pass protect. They had to give Everett time, and they won that battle. They did that. The defense had to contain Cunningham, and they did that. So they had goals, they have objectives, and they came in and they won the battle on every front.
They had to stop Keith Jackson, and they did that. Coming after this one, nobody deep. Nobody back there. Rams chase it down. They should be able to down it inside the 10. Down goes the beanbag at the 8. 39-yard punt by Dale Hatcher, and we can have a normal week next week.
Yeah, they don't like that cold weather. They can lie and say they do, but I'll guarantee you they don't like it.
Garrity throws it to Ron Johnson. Again, a reminder, stay with us for the post-game show here on CBS with Brent Ingram. We'll be talking to the losers' locker room.
You know, Will McDonough had a thing that Rick Shermer, the defensive coordinator of the Rams, may be a possible head coach at Phoenix, and his showing here today has been excellent.
This is Jackson, tosses it out to Carter, who steps out of bounds. They're going to say it's an illegal forward pass. The lateral went forward, so it wasn't a lateral, was it?
Well, I think it's been that kind of day for Keith Jackson. It's been one that I'm sure he's going to go home and try and forget as quickly as he can.
Toward the Super Bowl down in New Orleans on January 28th. Now, the matchups of the NFC are set, and on Saturday afternoon, the Minnesota Vikings